Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and this is the post-match reaction for Manchester City versus Everton. Manchester City won, Everton won. Now, when I went to this game this afternoon, I was not sure what to expect, because Everton, when we go up against teams that have been on a bit of a losing streak, we seem to channel our inner community and we normally give them the game. And then sometimes we go up against the bigger teams and we absolutely demolish them. But today was a little bit of both in a way. As you know, a nice little happy draw there, nice little 1-1. But the game itself, I'll be honest, it was a game of two halves, to be honest. In the first half, Man City from the off, they were really trying to stamp the authority. So pretty much from the word go, they really tested our defence. So Mikalenko was getting run left, right and centre. Likewise with Coleman. David Silva was really making sure Coleman got his workout in today. Jared Branthwaite and Tarkowski, they kept themselves nice and tight in that defensive line. They made sure any crosses that come in towards like Haaland or even Foden, they were dealt with really well. Foden, he actually has a bit of a shocking game today. He just wasn't able to get into his stride. We just made sure when he had the ball that he had no opportunity to do too much with it. He didn't get much time to move with the ball. He didn't have much time to really, once that ball was at his feet, we had to play it pretty much straight on him. So we made sure that the game today was not played on their terms. We had no respect for that Manchester City team, and we made sure that they knew that we could see that they were a wounded animal in a way. But within the first 3 minutes, Man City did actually try and stamp their authority in the way of a ball that came in towards Gavaldio. I'm probably going to say his name wrong. It's the way it's spelled is like a dyslexic person's worst nightmare, because it's GVD. I can't even spell it just straight off the top of my head. It's a mad name, and I don't like looking at it. But yeah, so pretty much from there, he had the ball come in, got a head to it, and it just glanced off. It hit the post pretty much squared on and went out, and we were able to clear it away. If he was even slightly to the right, the way Pickford was standing right there, I don't think he would have had coverage of it, and they might have got a goal within the first 3 minutes. And that might have been an issue for us, because you know what we're like. Really early goals can really set us up for a bit of a nightmare of a game. But thankfully, we made sure that was dealt with. We moved out, and we actually did try and challenge them at the other end. A few good little runs there. Harrison, he had a decent-ish game. He had moments that he could have done a little bit better. He had a few good passes, a few good runs. He tried to make their defence a bit more stretched, but unfortunately, the decision-making from Harrison's a little bit, something to be desired, to say the very least. In regards to Ndai, he went off with a little bit of an injury as well, which is a little bit of a concern. According to SofaScore anyway, when he was subbed off for Lindstrom, he was coming off with an injury, which is a shame. Hopefully he's okay for the Forest game. If not, we are probably going to have to resort to having a midfield of Lindstrom, Harrison, Idrissa Gueye, Abdoulaye Doucouré and Oriol Mangala, which could work, might not. I mean, to be honest, we could even potentially look at, Patterson potentially being the right winger and having either Harrison or Lindstrom on the left. There could be many ways of doing it. Hey, I don't even know what the situation is with McNeil. He could be back for this game. Hopefully he is. I do miss seeing him. He's a reasonably good player for us, and he is our top scorer at the moment still. So seeing him back would be a nice little treat. But yeah, back to getting ourselves back on track. So inside that first half, we were 1-0 down. We just kept pressing and a nice little break came away. So Doucouré got a nice little, got a loose ball in, popped it into the box, and Calvert-Lewin. Now, I could see that he was trying to go for the head, but I don't know what he was doing, but he sort of body checked himself to let the ball go past, and it went into the feet of Ndai. So Ndai got a nice little bit of control, and as it hit the floor, in a nice little half volley fashion, got his laces right through it with his right foot, and it went right into the corner of the goal. Absolutely sublime goal. I can see why we like him so much. He's a lovely little bag of tricks, and I know for a fact that the goals that he scores, they are going to be peaches. I can't wait to see him get comfortable with the squad and the league, because I think once he understands this league, what it plays like, and what the team around him is like, I think there will be more goals because I think he's very adaptable to them sorts of situations. It might come later this season, or it might start a little bit earlier next season, but I do think he's going to come right for us, and I do look forward to seeing him playing a lot better. But yeah, so that was pretty much it for the first half. Pretty much Man City scored against us, we responded in kind, and there was moments on both ends. Pickford had I was going to say he had a bit of a busy first period. He honestly did. They did pepper us for the first part of the game, but as we started, pushing them back and doing what a lot of the teams do, which was pretty much just relentlessly attack them. That was all we needed to do, and what a lot of teams have been doing as of late. It's just when we've got the ball, attack, attack, attack. Don't let them have time in our half. You push on them and you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And eventually something gives in that squad and you score. That's just how it is at the moment against Man City. It's been proven with Man United. It's been proven with many of the other teams out there that is just all you have to do. But yeah, into the second half, early into the second half, we had a moment there where Man City tried to pretty much do what they did in the first half. Just straight attack us, just tried to just push at us, push and push. And as you know, under Diceball, when teams do that to you, instead of trying to force you open, if they push and push and push, and they compact you into a solid sort of back wall, it just doesn't work against us. For some reason, it seems to be the complete opposite of how it works with Man City. So with us, you push at us, we basically create a double-layered defence, and we just stay tight, we stay compact, and we just don't let you get through us. That's how it was with Man City. That was how it was with us with Arsenal. That's how it was with us with Chelsea. And it was the same with us against Man City. Got it on the third one. But yeah, we had that situation there. And then around the mid-50s mark, we gave away a bit of a silly penalty. So ball came in. The lads had just released it from his foot, and Mikalenko had come in with a bit of a late challenge and just took his leg from him. From my perspective, I was basically the other side of the stadium. I kind of looked at it and just thought, I don't know, from my angle. But looking at it in replays, looking at it from like the Sky Sports highlights, it was a penalty. But yeah, and then when it came time for the penalty, Seamus Coleman was right in Haaland's ear, giving him a load, and got a yellow card for it. And Pickford was very similar, pretty much on the line, doing all sorts of his lovely stuff, basically pulling all sorts of faces. I swear to God, the guy's got such an elastic face, he makes Jim Carrey jealous. He loves doing all of his stuff. He does his own little psychological thing, doing all the mad faces, doing the hands, doing the jumping, doing everything he can to be a distraction. And from there, as we know, it worked. I say that. It's essentially with a penalty, it's like 60%, not even 60%, more like 80% luck, 20% knowledge, because you can have all of the information possible for a penalty, but at that professional level, it's a bit of a wild card, and some of the best penalties taken are literally just a spur of the moment kick, and it just goes somewhere. The placement ones are all great, and Haaland tried that today when he hit the ball, tried to place it into the corner. Pickford chose the right side, knew exactly where he was going. But because Haaland didn't hit it well into the corner, properly into the corner, it was pretty much just a little bit more towards the centre. He was able to get a nice little hand of it, palmed it away. They got the ball again, crossed it in. Haaland was sitting offside, heads it in, and the linesman, happy as can be, just went, nope. And you could see the smug grin on his face, not letting Haaland have a goal. I don't know why. I know why. He's, as a lot of people have been saying, Haaland was very humble today. Oh, that makes me laugh thinking about it. But yeah, so after that, pretty much it was Everton and City. We just basically battled box to box from the rest of that game. A few challenges here and there. And to be honest, I'm not going to say that the referee was bad today. Yeah, he actually had a really decent game. Likewise with the linesman as well. I mean, there was a couple of moments where I thought, okay, instead of, because he had a moment there where he actually gave the free kick when he could have let us play on a couple of times. But overall, it was actually a reasonably decent game. I'll be honest though, because I was there today, I actually got to enjoy some of the most hilarious home fans. The Man City fans were an absolute blast. I enjoyed listening to them lose their shit. Where I was sitting, I was about probably 1/3 of the way over towards the right. If anyone's ever been to the Etihad, I was in the top terrace and we were quite close to the away fans over there. And there was a guy with a top knot trying to give us a load. And it's just, you're looking at him thinking, dude, you currently think a top knot is fashionable. You cannot say shit. Just keep your gob shut. And then about midway through the second half, I was watching the City fans pretty much infighting. They were fighting each other inside their own stand. And it was just an absolute treat to watch. They are all falling apart at the seams. And the thing that makes it even better is the fact that I got to see for myself how their fan base is at the moment. With Everton at the moment, most of us Evertonians know we're not doing great at the moment. We're really not. We're not the team that we used to be. Under, let's say, mid-2000s Moyes, when we were getting around 35 to 37,000 people in the stadium at a time, we were doing well. We weren't doing amazing, but we were doing well. Right now, Man City, the wheels have fallen off a little bit. They're not doing well at all. They're under a bit of a losing streak right now. I think they've won 1-13 at this point. And the stadium shows. It doesn't look like the stadium of a team that has won the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League and is it the Club World Cup? They won that as well. Because I was scanning around the stadium with my eyes. I even got a little bit of a video of it just to be naughty. And I could just see chunks of empty seats. It wasn't like sometimes when you go into Goodison, you'll see empty seat there, empty seat there, empty seat there. It was clusters of them, like 5 or 6 there, 5 or 6 there, 5 or 6 there, 10 there, 10 there. It was chunks of empty seats. And it just looked bad. And the fact that they're doing a stadium expansion at the moment. And don't get me wrong, it's probably going to look amazing. But they need to do something about their fan base. They need to get more of them in, try and draw more into that stadium because it's going to go to waste. Pretty much what's going to happen is they might get, I don't know, maybe 5,000-6,000 more into that stadium with that expansion. But it's going to look a lot worse as a result because I think their stadium expansion is meant to be like it's meant to add 10,000 to it. But with that, it's going to be 5,000 or 6,000 added to it. But it's going to be some of the fans from already in existing parts of the stadium moving over there and then some of the new ones. So you're going to have even more clumps that look emptier around certain parts of the stadium. But this is just my opinion. And I'm an Evertonian who's seen Everton through thick and thin. I've seen us come close to relegation. I've seen us break the top four's stone grip on the Premier League once. I've seen us going persistently fifth. I've seen us doing really well. And I hope to see us do well soon. I hope this is going to be a turning point now. That the 4-0 at Wolves, the 0-0 at Arsenal, the 0-0 at Chelsea, the 1-0 at Man City. I'm hoping this is going to be a small turning point and we're going to start upping the ante a bit. Even if it's just, 1-0 wins here, 2-0, 2-1s here, the odd 2-0, like the very rare 3-0 or 4-0. Little bits like that. Just slowly build into it. I don't think with the freaking group coming in now, I do not think that this is, okay, great, we're going to get Mbappe, we're going to get Vinicius Jr., we're going to get bloody Sancho. Well, I'm not thinking that. I'm not thinking that we're going to get all the world's best players. What I think is it's going to be a 5-year to almost a decade project. And it's just going to be increment after increment after increment. We might get a nice little boost when we go into the new stadium. So let's say that's all of a sudden a nice little boost in revenue so we can actually go out and get a few better players. And then next season, we end up 10th or 9th. And then the season after that, we go 9th or even 8th, 7th. And then season after that, 8th, 7th, 6th. Anywhere around there. We just build and build and build. That's what I want the club to do. Because if you go from, 15th or 14th, all the way up to 6th, it's just too much of an ascension too quick. It looks good, but you just can't sort of keep the momentum. This is a very obvious thing with the likes of Aston Villa, the likes of Newcastle. I mean, the only one who seems to be a little bit bulletproof to it is Brighton. Brighton seem to do persistently well. they're in the upper mid-table on an almost consistent basis because of the model of their football. They sell their best players, the likes of McAllister, Trossard. They sell players like that to other teams, to bigger teams. They invest that money smartly, and then they end up buying the likes of Yankuba Minter. They end up buying players in that they can use, and they develop these other lads from other teams. They basically have the Atletico Madrid style of football, where they get all these little semi-decent players and they make them into much better players, sell them on, distribute them out to other leagues and to the Premier League and the big teams, and benefit from it. That's why they're never going to be in a financial issue, and they can now actually build on their own stadium, and they won't have the situation that we had where the Premier League's like, hang on, where's this money come from? Why are you spending that much money? We need to check you. You don't get any of that rubbish anymore. But yeah, I just went on a complete tangent there. But yeah, as I said, great result today. Really happy with the result. I'm gutted we didn't actually go for the win, because the last 5 to 10 minutes, we could have pushed for that win. I mean, the one other thing was, I thought where we had our wingers were not exactly in their best positions. I think Harrison could have went on the left and Lindstrom could have went on the right. If they would have done that and swapped them around, I think Harrison being back in his natural left wing position, he might have benefited a bit more, because he is a prominently left-footed player. Likewise with Lindstrom being a prominently right-footed player, they could have potentially benefited, but onwards, upwards, onto the Forest game. They're going to be an extremely tough opposition. I don't know what to think about them. I'm worried going to Goodison with this one, because they're flying high at the moment. They are really doing well. And a player that I wanted Everton to get, Chris Wood, he's been doing well as well. I'm not sure whether he's injured or not. I didn't see him in the lineup against Tottenham, but I mean, they just beat Tottenham 1-0. So them coming to us, it's going to be a very interesting one. But in any case, guys, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your continued support. Apologies for not getting the drone out as of late. As we've known, the past 2 to 3 weeks, it's been a bit of a hectic one. I do have some footage there. I'm going to try and get it all spliced together before the weekend, so you guys can enjoy that. It's going to be a nice one, because it's going to be one that celebrates all the work that's been done, because the stadium is now handed over to Everton Football Club. So we're now just going to be putting our personal touches in, the likes of the Everton Way, the banners, some personal little details inside of the stadium. I've heard something about seats inside of the stadium might be getting altered and changed, so let's see what happens, eh? But yeah, so yeah, I've got a little one there I'm going to be putting together that I hope you guys will enjoy. Looking back on basically when I first got the drone up versus the most recent one. And then from there, it's just, I'm going to talk about how we're going to go about with the drone footage in the future. Because as I said, I'm going to be doing a lot more of this sort of stuff. We're going to sort of ease off with the drone a bit. And when I get some confirmation from Everton regarding what's going to happen with Goodison when we move over to Bramley Moor, we'll be looking at doing a monthly basis sort of thing, flying around Goodison as that slowly comes down, where we're going to be able to talk about memories and everything, and then talk about the legacy project when that starts getting erected, because that one's going to be probably another 2 or 3 years. But yeah, guys, I've just made myself sad thinking about Goodison now. Okay. But yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all again so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your break, if you are taking a break. I know I am. I'm going to be back in work on the 2nd of January, so there is a lot of stuff I'm going to be catching up on at home and everything. But yeah, for the final time, guys, take care, enjoy the rest of your week, up the freaking toffees, and peace.